Have you ever wondered why some people carry the burden of their past, while others resiliently overcome adversity? This question was explored over a century ago by Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis. He asserted that our early years shape who we become. In Totem and Taboo, Freud wrote, "A person who has been neurotic often shows a certain degree of psychological infantilism, emphasizing that unresolved issues from childhood can impact mental health in adulthood." He also underscored the role of parents, stating, "I do not think there is any childhood need stronger than the need for a father's protection." These insights, once controversial, are now supported by modern research, such as the Adverse Childhood Experiences (PCEs) study, which reveals that 64% of adults have experienced at least one adverse childhood event, heightening the risk of health and psychological problems. Join us as we explore how early experiences shape our futures and how we can build a healthier generation. 1. Oral stage, 0 to 1 years old. During the oral stage, infants seek pleasure through the mouth, by sucking, biting, and tasting. According to Freud, if this need is not fully satisfied, such as being weaned too early, the child may develop an oral fixation. This can lead to behaviors in adulthood like smoking, overeating, or nail biting. Imagine Min, an adult who always chews gum or smokes when stressed. This could be a sign of fixation from the oral stage. 2. Anal stage, 1 to 3 years old. From ages 1 to 3, children enter the anal stage, which focuses on controlling bowel and bladder movements. The way parents handle toilet training can shape a child's personality. If parents are too strict, the child may become anal retentive, obsessed with order and cleanliness. If parents are too lenient, the child may become anal expulsive, messy, and rebellious. For example, Lon, an office worker who always keeps her desk perfectly organized, may have been influenced by strict toilet training during childhood. 3. Phallic stage, 3 to 6 years old. During the phallic stage, children become aware of their gender and develop the Oedipus or Electra complexes, where they harbor unconscious desires for the opposite-sex parent and experience rivalry with the same-sex parent. Successfully navigating this stage contributes to the formation of gender identity, whereas fixation at this stage may result in relationship difficulties or issues with authority. For example, Hung, who frequently conflicts with his superiors, might be influenced by unresolved conflicts from this stage. 4. Latent stage, 6 years old to puberty. The latent stage is a quiet period when sexual energy is repressed, and children focus on developing social and intellectual skills. This is the time for forming friendships and moral values. Problems during this stage can lead to social immaturity in adulthood. 5. Genital stage, from puberty onward. The genital stage begins at puberty, when adolescents develop mature, intimate relationships. If the previous stages have been successfully navigated, adults will have the ability to form healthy, balanced relationships, harmonizing love, work, and personal life. Although Freud's theory is controversial, the idea that early experiences shape personality is still recognized. Modern neuroscience shows that childhood is a critical period for brain development, with experiences shaping neural structures. Positive interactions, such as responsive caregiving, promote the development of neural pathways associated with emotional regulation and social skills. Conversely, adverse experiences, like abuse or neglect, can disrupt this development, leading to long-term psychological issues. Research on adverse childhood experiences, PCEs, reinforces this. According to the CDC, 61% of adults have experienced at least one PCE, and these experiences increase the risk of depression, heart disease, and substance abuse. For example, individuals with 4 or more PCEs have a 4.6 times higher risk of depression. Neuroscientist Andrew S. Garner states, "Childhood experiences are crucial for long-term outcomes because the early environment is literally built into the structure of the brain." Thus, both historical theory and modern science emphasize the importance of childhood experiences for adult life. Understanding this helps us recognize the value of creating a supportive environment to nurture children into healthy adults. In Totem and Taboo, Sigmund Freud wrote, "A person suffering from neurosis often exhibits a certain degree of psychological infantilism. They either cannot escape the psychosexual conditions that existed in childhood or return to them. This means that people with neurosis often retain childlike traits or revert to that state when faced with stress, due to unresolved childhood conflicts. Freud referred to this as psychological infantilism, a condition where an individual fails to fully progress through the psychosexual stages, such as the phallic stage between ages 3 and 6, during which children experience complex emotions toward their parents. Regression happens when adults, under stress, revert to childish behaviors or emotions, which can result in disorders like anxiety or depression. Imagine a 30-year-old who frequently experiences panic attacks when dealing with superiors at work. As a child, and had a tense relationship with his father, who was often critical and fostered a sense of competition. According to Freud, unresolved conflicts from the phallic stage, related to the Oedipus complex, may cause him to associate authority figures with his father, triggering intense anxiety in adulthood. Modern research supports this view. The CDC's study on adverse childhood experiences, PCEs, shows that individuals who have experienced 4 or more adverse events, such as abuse or neglect, are over twice as likely to suffer from depression and 1.7 times more likely to experience anxiety compared to those with fewer adverse experiences. Preventing these experiences can reduce the number of adults with depression by up to 44%, underscoring the importance of a healthy childhood environment. Psychologist Dr. Felitti, co-author of the PCE study, states, "What happens in childhood can shape a person's entire life." Thus, both Freud's theories and modern science show that childhood trauma can leave lasting marks, shaping our mental health as adults. Understanding this encourages us to create supportive environments to protect children from long-term consequences. Sigmund Freud, the pioneer of psychoanalysis, asserted, "I do not think there is any childhood need stronger than the need for a father's protection." This statement emphasizes the irreplaceable role of the father in shaping a child's psychological and emotional development. According to Freud, during the phallic stage from ages 3 to 6, children experience the Oedipus complex, where they develop complex emotions toward their parents, including desire for the opposite-sex parent and rivalry with the same-sex parent. For boys, the protective presence of the father helps resolve this conflict, forming the superego and gender identity, laying the foundation for adult personality. Modern attachment theory reinforces this view, emphasizing that secure attachment with parents, including the father, is foundational for healthy development. Research shows that children who have a secure attachment with their father often exhibit greater confidence, better social skills, and superior emotional regulation as adults. For example, one study found that a father's sensitivity in infant care is linked to secure father-child attachment, leading to positive developmental outcomes. But it's not all doom and gloom. Positive childhood experiences, or PCEs, such as loving relationships with parents or a sense of belonging in the community, can mitigate these negative effects. A 2019 study in JAMA Pediatrics found that adults who reported 6 to 7 PCEs, such as feeling listened to by parents or participating in community activities, had a 72% lower risk of depression or poor mental health compared to those with only 0 to 2 PCEs, even if they had experienced PCEs. Imagine Lynn, a little girl growing up in a loving family where her parents always took time to listen and support her. Despite financial hardships, this support helped Lynn develop strong confidence and social skills, enabling her to overcome future challenges. Moreover, childhood experiences not only affect the individual but also family health in adulthood. A study from BMC Public Health shows that individuals with many positive childhood experiences, PCEs, report better family social and emotional health, healthier lifestyles, and more health resources, even if they have experienced adverse childhood experiences, PCEs. Conversely, PCEs reduce family social health and resources. This suggests that nurturing PCEs, such as creating stable family routines or encouraging children to participate in community activities, can build healthier families. Dr. Christina Bethel, the author of the PCEs study, states, "Positive childhood experiences can alter the trajectory of a life even when children face adversity." These findings emphasize that investing in positive childhood experiences, PCEs, not only helps mitigate the harm of adverse childhood experiences, ACEs, but also promotes long-term individual and family health. By creating loving and supportive environments, we can help children grow into healthy adults, contributing to stronger families and communities. From the pioneering theories of Sigmund Freud to modern research on adverse childhood experiences, ACEs, and positive childhood experiences, PCEs, one clear message has emerged: the early years of life have a profound impact on our adult lives. Childhood experiences, whether positive or negative, not only shape our personality and mental health but also influence our physical health and social relationships later on. Understanding this, we have a responsibility to create supportive, loving, and safe environments for children, those who will become the future of society. Think about how you can contribute to building a healthier generation, whether as a parent, teacher, or community member. And as you do, take a moment to ask yourself, how have your own childhood experiences shaped you? The answer may help you better understand yourself and those around you. Imagine a scene. A child, frightened by a thunderstorm, runs to their father for comfort. The father gently embraces the child, soothes them with a warm voice, and explains that the storm will pass. This action not only calms the immediate fear but also builds an emotional bond, helping the child feel safe and protected, laying the foundation for future confidence. Parents, especially fathers, with their role in providing protection and safety, play an indispensable part in shaping a child's future. By meeting the child's need for protection, parents help build a generation that is confident, resilient, and emotionally healthy. Sigmund Freud, the pioneer of psychoanalysis, once asserted, "Anxiety in children is initially nothing other than an expression of the fact that they are feeling the loss of the person they love." Through this, he emphasized that childhood anxiety stems from separation or loss of loved ones, especially parents, leaving a profound impact into adulthood. Freud explained that when children are separated from their primary caregivers, the source of safety and love, they experience fear of loss, which then forms anxiety. If not comforted in time, this anxiety can become deeply ingrained, leading to anxiety disorders later in life. Imagine the story of Min, a child who lost both parents in a car accident at age 5. After the tragedy, Min frequently had nightmares, feared being away from relatives, and grew up with generalized anxiety disorder, always worrying about the safety of those around him. Modern research reinforces this view. A long-term study from NPR indicates that children who experience severe separation anxiety at age 3 are at higher risk of developing anxiety disorders by age 21. This shows that childhood loss is not just a temporary pain but a lingering shadow, urging us to support children in overcoming trauma to build a healthier psychological future. Childhood experiences can shape our entire lives, and modern science has made this clear. Adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs, such as abuse, neglect, or family dysfunction, can leave lasting scars. According to the CDC, 61% of adults have experienced at least one ACE, and those with 4 or more ACEs have a 2.2 times higher risk of depression and a significantly greater risk of heart disease. A study from PMC shows that children under 6 who experience financial hardship or have parents with mental illness have a 137% higher risk of health and developmental issues compared to children without ACEs. More than a century ago, Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis, revolutionized psychology with his theory of psychosexual development. He proposed that our personality is shaped through 5 stages in childhood, each focusing on a different erogenous zone of the body.